I'm Colin Masson, Research Director for Industrial AI and Industrial Grade Data Fabrics at ARC Advisory Group. And I'm here with John Harrington, Chief Product Officer.
Yes, sir.
And a co-founder of HighByte, an industrial data ops company that kind of bridges that gap between IT and OT.
Exactly. Yep.
Great. Okay. Well, why don't we kick off with a little bit more about what is that connection between, you call yourselves an industrial data ops company, right? Industrial data ops and AI.
Yes. Yeah. I think it's AI is the biggest thing that everyone's talking about right now. And but when they talk about it, what they often talk about is the challenges of AI, right? We've got all this new technology. In fact, we've got all this new IT technology as well available to OT to consume. We've got the cloud and we've got all these orchestration engines and whatnot. But the challenge is, it came out a number of times in the presentations. There's data quality issues, there's data governance issues, there's data security and who owns the data issues, there's data observability issues. How do we orchestrate from all these different systems and contextualize that data? Those are the problems that DataOps solves. DataOps is really focused on delivering the data to the systems that need it in a way that they can consume it, but in the meantime, providing a platform for companies to manage that and maintain it over time at scale.
All right, and we talked about the role of industrial data ops kind of in the assembly of maybe a more holistic industrial data fabric that no one really has the whole thing, but you're really tackling that industrial data ops piece of that that fabric. No, I know you're working with a lot of customers, so you kind of made that connection with AI. But what are you seeing, and what are you in 2025, or what are you hearing from customers about what they want to do with your solution for industrial data ops in 2025? Specifically, let's look at AI. I realize there's a standard insights and kind of analytics part of that, but I'm really interested in what you're hearing from customers on AI, and if you can mention them, even better, right?
Yeah, a lot of companies are experimenting with AI, but a lot of companies are implementing AI. It may not be the latest and greatest AI. Everyone's talking about ChatGPT and DeepSeek.
That's right.
And all of the LLMs. But what we're seeing companies actually implementing is predictive maintenance with machine learning on all of their machinery across all of their plants. So we have one customer that deployed our software across 40 plants to do predictive maintenance on the machinery, so they reduce their downtime, reduce their emergency maintenance calls. And that was huge for them. And that's an AI use case that's real, that's tangible, that they can track back to real value for them. We have another company, customer of ours, who's using imagery and performing AI analytics on the imagery to determine if there's defects.
So it's computer vision.
Computer vision, right. A chocolate company.
Okay.
They need to analyze the chocolate balls, the Linder balls, as they're coming off the line. They analyze them to see if there's any defects. And they're using AI for that. So the ability to take those images, move them to the application that was specifically designed for that use case, get the results from that, deliver that to the operators or to the shop floor. That's where we're seeing real AI being deployed today. Those are just two really simple examples. But, and a lot of people are experimenting with all the LLMs, and even we're experimenting with it, and we see applications. I think LLMs are great when interacting with humans. What we're really seeing is then they stop, and then they use the other AI applications when you actually need deterministic analysis.
I guess I've got a two-part question as a follow-up to that, because we almost started with, you're in that space between IT and OT, right? And moving data so that IT can use it or vice versa. So who are the users of your solution?
So where we're seeing a lot, start with the use cases.
Right, okay.
We're seeing domain experts across the company who need data from the factory floor. So the quality team, the maintenance team, the sustainability team, the supply chain team, the engineering team, the design engineering team, they all need access to shop floor data. So they know what data they need, but they don't know what it is on the factory floor. They don't know what PLC is. They don't know the layout of the factory floor. They just know, I need to know when there's a quality defect, and I need to know what was collected on that one batch as it was coming through the line before that defect occurred, because I want to do root cause analysis. So those teams often are working with IT. Those teams are being delivered apps that are running in the cloud in many cases. So the challenge is we need them to get them the data. And so we provide a solution that enables the IT team to say, okay, this is the data set that I need for this engineer to solve his quality problem. But then the primary users of the application are actually the OT team, because they're the domain experts of the source systems, the telemetry systems, the MES system, the CMMS system, that can find out these are the pieces of data that need to get mapped in order to deliver that data. So it really bridges the IT and the OT and even the business user as that system that enables data to flow seamlessly, makes it really easy for the OT team to say, here's all the data set, here's all of those data points, and then do it at scale. And that's the real challenge. If you're doing this for one asset, it's easy. If you're doing it for 100 assets, it's hard. And if you're doing it across 50 plants, it's even harder.
And you mentioned a lot of systems that are very proprietary,
yes,
right, in the way they handle data, store data. How important do you see it to decouple the data from that proprietary software? And again, specifically, hey, we want that data for AI. So
right.
What are your thoughts there?
Yeah, it's critical. It's critical. And it's even more critical now because the target systems, the systems that want the data, are changing so fast. So your MES system, you may have put in 10 years ago and you're going to use it for another 5 or 10 years. Your ERP system, you put in 20 years ago and you're hoping to never change it, but you probably will sometime. But your AI systems, you're experimenting with technology that the company didn't exist 6 months ago. So we have to recognize that we need to decouple that data, because the ERP, what I often need to do is merge data from different applications. So if you think about
and contextualize it, right?
Right, and then we need to contextualize. So we merge MES data with telemetry data, then we contextualize it, and then we send it to an AI we send it to Amazon's S3 data lake, which an AI is sitting on top of to do the analysis that you need. So the challenge is, how do we do that? And really, you need to decouple it. You need to an aggregation point, and then you deliver that data.
Can you talk a little bit about which companies and how they are including HighByte and your industrial data ops in their data strategy?
Yeah, so the funny thing is, as you know, data strategy is something that most companies haven't had, right? So in the industrial space, now in the IT space, they've probably had it for a long time. In the industrial space, people think in terms of applications. They think of the Purdue model. You've got your ERP, your MES, your SCADA, very simple, and you move data up the track. And the reality is there's a lot more applications out there than that ever contemplated. And you really have this network effect happening. So now, if you have a lot of sources of data and you have a lot of targets of data, the AI, the cloud systems, and this and that, then you have a network effect going on if you're going to create all of these connections. And that's impossible to manage, right? It's n minus 1 squared in order to calculate how many of these items we have. So how many connections we have. So we need to put something in place, and we need to create a strategy around data. Not just around applications, but around data. And how do we move data, and how do we use data? How do we govern it? How do we work with it? Who can work with it? And so data strategy is becoming something that really is sitting on top of DataOps. It's the strategy piece. DataOps is the practice piece. And then we've got data fabric, and we've got unified namespace, and we've got data mesh. Those are the different architectural patterns that all kind of deliver this data challenge, which AI is driving.
Great. Thank you, John.
Yeah.
I've been talking with John Harrington, Chief Product Officer and co-founder of HighByte. Thank you for watching.